Thank you, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of our Tech Drop-In. I'm sure all of us have been regular attendees of the Tech Drop-In sessions. Right, today we are very glad to share with everybody here on the topic on NetBackup IT Analytics. Right, I'm sure a lot of us probably have heard of NetBackup IT Analytics. Right, this was actually an acquisition that we did a couple of years ago. Right. So in today's context, we actually have integrated this solution into our NetBackup solution in a lot of integration areas. So that's where we're here to share today as well. So before I move on, maybe let me introduce today's speakers and the panelists that will be helping us here with today as well. So the main person that will be helping to share with us in more details about NetBackup IT Analytics will be Gama. Right, Gama is actually our solution architect that is based out of Philippines. Right. So he has many years of experience across the infrastructure space, and also in the data analytics space as well, right? And in the back end, and as a panelist helping us with the questions, where we have Sasipong. So Sasipong is our sales engineering leader based out of Thailand as well. He also has many years of experience of interacting with a lot of customers across FS5, government, and manufacturing technology as well. So of course, from Singapore, we have also Kai Xiang. Kai Xiang is also one of our architects that is based out of Singapore. That's also covering the enterprise space for our customers in Singapore as well, right? So the whole team here will be here to help to answer any questions that you may have. And of course, today, for any best question that you have, right, we're going to reward you with the $25 Amazon gift card as well, right? So I encourage you, to have any questions in the back end, to send it across to us. We will try our best, right, to answer as many questions as we can. So before Gama takes over, just want to share a bit on what we are doing with NetBackup IT Analytics. I'm sure a lot of us are existing NetBackup customers, right? And you're using OpsCenter to carry out a lot of use cases, common tasks that you may have. So the common tasks that a lot of customers are using OpsCenter will be for NetBackup operations. Now, how do you do policy management, activation of policies, deactivation of policies? And at times also you may use OpsCenter for operational restores. Right, you can actually use OpsCenter to help to go in to do some of the restoration jobs through the web UI. Right, but however, in the last few versions in NetBackup, we have actually released a new web UI that's already available for customers to use all this. And some of these common tasks actually can be also performed in the NetBackup web UI. Right, it's a very clean look, and I encourage definitely for those of us that are not already using the web UI, definitely go in there and use some of these common tasks that we have been using in OpsCenter in web UI as well. So another area that a lot of our customers are using OpsCenter for is in the area of backup reporting. Right? In terms of alerts reporting, in SLA, backup job success, failure, right? You want to receive all those operational reports on a daily basis, right? So that's why we are here today to actually share more on NetBackup IT Analytics, right? How it actually can give you a dashboard capability to collate a lot of information and allowing you to have a clean information that's presented to you in a very clean and crisp manner as well, right? So just a quick screenshot of the IT Analytics dashboard, right? Of course, another thing I want to remind all of us today is actually that NetBackup 10 will be the last version that will be shipped with OpsCenter, right? So OpsCenter will be the last version that will be available in NetBackup 10, right? After NetBackup 10, there will not be any OpsCenter that's available. And you can actually go on and utilize the NetBackup IT Analytics, right? So that is already available today. If you're using NetBackup 10 subscription, right, you're actually entitled to use the NetBackup IT Analytics Foundation, right? So later on, we'll share more on the different editions that is available as well, right? So I'll just, moving ahead, I'll just pass the time over to Gama to share with us more on in-depth on the NetBackup IT Analytics and the use cases that we can do with it. So over to you, Gama.
Thank you so much, Daniel. So before I take over, Trudy, can you first share the first poll for everyone?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so basically, just as what we described just now, there's a lot of common use cases that a lot of our customers are using OpsCenter for as well. So we just want to get your feedback on what you're using OpsCenter for some of the common tasks, right? Whether it is for backup SLA reporting, on a daily basis, you want to see what's your backup success failure rate, right? Or are you using for notifications, more alerting you if there's any failure in some of the services, for example, the backup service is going down, want to receive notifications from that. Right. Also for our NetBackup appliances customers, if you are using that as well, are you using OpsCenter for that purpose as well? So of course, in the or alternatively, are you really using it more for operational needs in terms of backup recovery, right? In terms of activating or deactivating some of the jobs itself, right? So we really appreciate everybody's input, right? So that we can actually know what are the common use cases or common tasks that you are currently in today's context that you're going to OpsCenter for as well. We'll give it a couple of seconds more, right, for everybody to answer the polling questions. This will definitely greatly help us in understanding, some of the common tasks that most of us are using OpsCenter for as well.
Okay.
So once everybody is ready, we can show the results. Okay, we do have quite a equal mix, but the biggest use case is actually more from alerts and notification for backup jobs. But I think day-to-day operationally, like if you're a backup administrator or you're heavily involved in the backup operations, I think that will be something that is very useful as well. So of course, all these use cases are actually still very relevant and still applicable in the NetBackup Web UI or the NetBackup IT Analytics as well. Right, so thank you everybody for helping to answer some of these polling questions. Along the way, we still have 2 more polling questions. So later on, we'll appreciate everybody's help, right, to answer some of these polls as well. So I'll pass the time over to Gamma once again. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Daniel. All right. All right. So hello, everyone. So before I start, I would like to say my appreciation for spending time with us in your busy schedules. So in this slide, I decided to take a slide from 2 years ago just to share with you guys that back in 2020, when we were talking about NetBackup Analytics, who was Aptar back then, we already determined that the future will be, we will be handling multiple clouds and data centers. That most of us will be dealing with not just with 1 cloud, maybe 2 or sometimes 3 even, right? For whatever the reason, right? So I think there is several challenges in terms of managing multiple clouds. And that is why it is critical for us to have the tools ready for us to manage all of this and make sound decisions in terms of running those platforms and environments, right? So for me, on a personal level, in terms of my engagement, I would say I'm already encountered 85% of my customers have at least 2 clouds in their environment, right? So just to share that the development and the progress may be affected by the pandemic or your own organization's initiatives. The future back in 2020, we are there right now in 2022. I hope everyone would agree that we are now in a state where we have our on-prem with DR plus at least 2 clouds, right? So let's proceed with having that on mind, that we are running multiple clouds and what would be the potential advantages. Of course, there is advantage and the challenges as well, right? So for me, the challenges will always be visibility. From an operations standpoint, you would need to log in, log out from different portals as well to make the decisions, and you have to output everything and consolidate the information manually. So visibility is one of this, so that you can make the decision in terms of how to optimize, right? And then once you have the visibility, there should be a level of control as well. So the challenge is, again, is how do I control the environment, right? So how do I intelligently migrate data to the cloud, or do I even migrate to the cloud, right? And what do I reclaim as well? So there's a lot of questions that come along in terms of managing and running this environment. And lastly, compliance, okay? So how do we accurately and proactively manage our usage across our entire infrastructure, okay? So the solution is first visibility. We want to see everything. I think with a lot of platforms that we're managing, a lot of workloads from containers, Kubernetes, OpenShift, from virtualization, and even the cloud, we need visibility, right? All right. And then in terms of those visibility, now that I am seeing all of this, I want to be able to do something when I see something, right? I should be able to do action and even identify and prioritize those actions as well. Okay. So when I am able to do actions or have an impact on those things that I see, I can have more control on my compliance as well. Okay, so it flows towards that direction, and we are able to do predict failures and mitigate risk as well. Okay, so I'm sorry. So for unified multi-cloud enterprise data management, NetBackup IT Analytics is able to capture all of this data to all of these different vendors. So if anyone has an experience with NetBackup Analytics or have seen the demos or the POCs, we are able to do this agentlessly. I would always want to highlight that we don't need any agents. Okay, so that is our primary strength. It's not intrusive, and then from there we are able to analyze and create correlations. So from my storage subsystem to my virtual environment to my cloud, I am able to create relationships in terms of the data that I'm able to gather and create decision points as well. And then from there, I am able to then optimize. All right. So for me, in terms of administering all of these environments, one of the key challenges in optimizing is where do I start, right? And then how do I value or create a measurable, quantifiable meaning to that optimization effort, right? Because if we're gonna do something, there should be a figure as well. So we all want to do the quick wins, wherein we identify if I optimize this portion, I get this much savings, right? And then once it is running an optimized state, I should be able to mitigate risks that is coming, because this is a continuous, it's a cycle. And then one of the key things that we want to identify moving forward is potential ransomware, right? So in the absence of scanning or proactive measures, I should be able still through NetBackup Analytics identify possible ransomware risks, and as well identify if I am able to recover as well. Okay, so just a quick snapshot of what we are able to manage. As I've said earlier, we're able to do private cloud from the applications and subsystems to the backup and storage. We consolidate those information and run analytics across all of those platforms. And from there, we are able to create insights. We are able to analyze, mitigate, and optimize, which we will be talking about in some of the use cases. Not all, because we have a time constraint, but there's a lot of things that NetBackup IT Analytics can do. But we will be focusing on some of the things that we believe that will be sound for you. Okay, so you see here is a quick snapshot of an AWS overview. So you can already see there the instance cloud, the account summary. But later on in the demo, we will showcase how we are able to mix and match all of these different points and come up with decisions as well. Okay. So for the use cases, so when we analyze, it is critical for me to have a central tool to analyze where you see everything. So as I mentioned earlier in the start of the session, normally how do we do this? We extract the reports from each of the individual points of information. We consolidate them, may it be through Excel or your different tools. But everyone would agree, it is time consuming. All right. So for one of my customers, it takes them a week to consolidate all of the report, and then they share those reports to management. I have no issues, but the thing is that they will be basing their decisions on sort of stale data, right? 1 week has passed since you've already acquired those information, and let's be honest, a lot of things could have been different, or a lot of things could have happened, which makes the decision less effective because it's already stale data. It's been a week, right? So if we can reduce the time to create those reports, then the decision will have a better impact, will be more positive, right? So again, visibility through a single console across all for your multi-cloud environment. Okay. Here is an example of, you see, it's a ransomware risk assessment. I will showcase that also in the demo as well. So next is we want to optimize data protection and storage assets. So what is the primary reason for optimization? It's cost, right? We want to reduce cost and improve performance. It's really improving the bang for buck of my investment. So here, when we are able to gather all this information, we are able to improve our SLAs, and we are able to identify points where I can reduce the cost. Probably from a storage perspective, I could easily see storage that are underutilized and reprovision those extra storage that I have, right? And then we can also have an organized way in terms of incident identification and backup management. Okay? Normally, for us to do this, we would have to invest at least 3 softwares or applications to do all of these things for us. So from the vendor, from my different storage vendors, from the different backup vendors, I need to all consolidate those as well, right? So from here, just with NetBackup IT Analytics, we are able to pull everything, right? So that I think a significant savings in terms of tools as well. And lastly, not lastly, okay, we want to do chargeback, all right? So, hey, Gamma, we're not doing chargeback. It is fine, right? But wouldn't it be great to have a level of accountability wherein all of your IT stakeholders or your business stakeholders in different departments have an idea, or they realize how much they're consuming, right? Because if the number is not there, there is no inherent effort to reduce or optimize the operation, because I don't know the dollar figure. But if you send these reports, right, in the absence of chargeback, you just want to send these reports to all of your stakeholders, they will realize, oh, I am number 2 in the entire organization in terms of IT spending. Then there will be an effort. It's human nature. I want to reduce. I don't want to be number 2, right? So these are things that is very good with NetBackup IT Analytics. Sorry, I'm so used to Aptar. I apologize. And then we are able to share and do this again from a single point, from a single pane of glass as well, from a single tool. So you are now able to do chargeback as well. And for you guys who does interdepartmental charging, this is a great tool to have. So again, in the demo, we will show you different approaches of chargeback as well. Okay. And we are able to do this if you are in a multi-tenant environment. We are able to accurately bill you per on those based on your tenancy as well. Okay. And lastly, we want to be able to mitigate. So here, everybody's favorite topic, it's ransomware. It's all about the question of when, I would say. And then I would say, from what I've been seeing the past few months, there has been a lot of developments in ransomware because unfortunately, a lot of customers are really gonna be paying for those data. So money is money. There is it's lucrative. It's a lucrative business, right? I'm not sure if you check the dark web. I did it. I checked it out. There is ransomware as a service out there. So basically, anyone can hire hackers to attack organizations, right? So that's a sad truth, but we have to be prepared, right? So here, from a NetBackup IT Analytics perspective, we are able to create a quick ransomware assessment to answer a few questions if I'm able to recover, what are the points or silos where there are potential ransomware activities. I'm able to check those out from metadata that is being gathered by Aptar. And from there, just showcase and consolidate all those reports in terms of just a quick snapshot. Okay, these are the times that I don't have backup. This is my last backup. So then you are able to really assess and prioritize in addressing and minimizing the gap in terms of ransomware resiliency. Okay. So for some quick customer references, before we go into that, I believe there's another poll. Yes. So for poll 2, what will be the most relevant use case for NetBackup IT Analytics for your organization? So we will be interested in understanding which will be your priority, so that you can also visualize by yourself. Okay, I can start here because it will be best that you can do this in phases as well, so that you have quick wins and targeted results as well. So let's give it a few more time in terms of getting the answers and the results of the poll. So we have here backup analytics reporting. So this is more towards the reporting and managing NetBackup. And we have Chargeback, Showback for IT as a service. Rapid identification of risk, which is related to ransomware risk assessment or risk assessment within NetBackup IT Analytics. And basically optimization in terms of storage, from a storage and backup perspective. So waiting for the results. So, wow, this is good. So number one at 74%, it's backup analytics. So later on, I will share, I will share something good for the guys who voted for backup analytics, all right? And the second one is coming at optimization for storage and backup. So this is basically improving utilization and reducing cost. I can't say enough how many of our customers reclaim terabytes of capacity in the cloud because of NetBackup IT Analytics. And rapid identification of risks, yes. And lastly, yes, again, chargeback. All right. So that is why I highlighted, if there is still no need for chargeback, it is still something that will help you in your operations in case there is still no chargeback. Because again, if there's a dollar figure attached to the activity, there's accountability there. Right. So now let's talk about some of the customer references. Okay. So first with Deloitte, before they were unable to do chargeback, and just with the simple implementation of, back then it was Aptar, they were able to do chargeback and provide accountability. And for their capacity planning, they were also to identify the key points and timings for the replacements. And in terms of the visibility, imagine they have 32,000 VMs. 169 arrays and 67 petabytes of storage being managed by NetBackup IT Analytics today. All right. So for JP Morgan Chase, this is specifically from the backup perspective. They want to optimize their tape environment. They also wanted to identify unused assets, which is particularly common in the cloud, wherein the instance is left there. And then it has been running for several months with no one is using it. So that's one of the things. And they were able to gain over $5 million in savings because of the reallocation of the storage. Instead of buying new additional capacity, they were able to reallocate and maximize. Okay. And they were able to also improve their compliance reporting because of the accuracy of what Aptar was able to deliver. And just to share a little bit, this is an example of the dashboard they had. So I'll just talk some of the items because a lot of this is self-explanatory, such as Araman job status. But for me, one of my favorite reports is the 80-20 rule of problematic clients, wherein it is identifying, you can customize it, but in its standard form, it identifies the top clients that is causing the problems in my environment. Because normally, out of the 80 problems I encounter in my environment, those are basically 20% of my clients that is generating those 80% of the issues. So it's a quick snapshot of the top problematic clients, right? From different perspectives. It could be from the backup perspective, it could be from storage, it could be consumption. There's a lot of metrics there, okay? And if you can also notice that there are different backup solutions as well, we are able to capture them. And in terms below, there's a client job stats heat map in terms of the time and the activity in the clients. So you're able to see which clients are loaded or underloaded, and then you can easily optimize as well. Okay, so for the last one, unfortunately, I'm not able to name the client, but they are Fortune 400 healthcare. So basically, they wanted to be able to do chargeback again, right? So across multiple business units. So here they were powered by NetBackup IT Analytics. They were able to save $36,000 a year in OpEx because of the accuracy and streamlines chargeback. So imagine if you're doing chargeback manually or from having multiple points of solutions to do chargeback. So one customer here that I've encountered, it takes them 2.5 weeks before they can even send the billing to the other departments. So that's kind of that's too much time, right? So the outcome is they were able to do a monthly chargeback report, which is consistent, which contains all the needed storage allocation and chargeback details from all different storage tiers. So later in the demo, I will also showcase you how vast our support is in terms of the storage vendors in NetBackup IT Analytics, which basically delivers increased utilization across all of your storage points. Yeah. All right, so let's go into the demo. So give me time. Let me shift towards the demo. I'll stop sharing for now. Oh, just in time. Okay. Okay, let me just relog in. Okay, it's taking its time. I'm sorry about that. Still loading. Okay, here it is, loaded. Just log in again. Let me share my screen again. It will take a while. I'm sorry, internet is not cooperating.
Hey, no problem, Gama. So in the Q&A questions, right, while you got logged in, I think we see a lot of questions coming in, some of them revolving around the ransomware. Right, so I'll help to address some of the questions while you get the login going as well. So I think just want to let everybody know, in terms of the NetBackup IT Analytics, right, definitely we do have ransomware mitigation reporting capabilities, right? Essentially, it helps to analyze, shows the risk that you have, right? Because from an analytics perspective, I will gather all the inventory, all the information that I have. Then I'll be able to put a view, right, from an assets, total assets that I'm protecting, right, and the total assets that you actually have. So when I'm able to lay a view across these two lands, I'll be able to show you the gap. Potentially, these are the gaps that you may have. For example, like missed backups, potential RPO that you can't meet, or any other. For example, I have 10,000 VMs, but I'm only protecting 8,000 of them. Right? So with a tool like NetBackup IT Analytics, straight away we're actually able to highlight a lot of risks. We're able to help to mitigate, allow visibility, so that you can actually mitigate some of these potential risks that you may have as well. So the same applies for ransomware as well. We're actually able to highlight any anomalies that we pick up as part of the backup process when we process all these backup images. Right? So from there, it'd be a very easy way, right, to consume all this information to help derive some of the use cases that we need to cater for as well. Yeah. So Gama, are we ready with the demo?
It's still loading. So maybe I should proceed first the other while it's still loading. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So in the essence of time, sorry guys.
If not, we can take a couple of minutes here to address some of the questions that we are seeing online.
Sure.
Yeah, while you will proceed with that, let me handle the questions itself. Okay. I think one of the questions that I'm seeing is, I think in terms for organizations that are more highly regulated, right, where you need to potentially keep data for multiple years, right? That includes logs, right? And also metadata. So NetBackup IT Analytics actually collects a lot of metadata. So in the back end, we actually run a Oracle database, right? Actually holds all this information, right? So based on your organization needs, from whether it's a compliance or regulatory needs, we can actually configure NetBackup IT Analytics to hold as long as the information as we need, right? Whether it's for an entire year or for multi-years as well. So all this historical information can be kept within NetBackup IT Analytics as well. So of course, some of our customers also use some of this historical information to help in the area of trending, in the area of capacity planning as well, right? Because the more information, especially with historical information, the more information that you have, the more accurate you're able to predict your capacity utilization. And when should you be triggering the next purchase in terms of the backup infrastructure growth, or in the area of the storage application, capacity as well, right? As what Gamma shared, we capture information from storage, from backup to your virtual infrastructure as well, and also even in the cloud space. So when you put all this information together, we can actually help to also derive a use case such as allowing trending information to be provided as well. Right? So that allows us to derive multiple use cases from there as well. Right? Today, we actually have scheduled a demo session, wanting to show you a live demo of the NetBackup IT Analytics, right? The dashboard view, how we can actually provide, configure some of these use cases, how easily it can be done with multiple dashboard, with multiple tiles that we can actually do. All these dashboards inside NetBackup IT Analytics are highly customizable, right? It's actually can be configured based on your persona. So if you are, for example, you're more of a operations role, or you want to come in every day going into the NetBackup IT Analytics portal, you want to see an operations view, right? How healthy is my environment, right? Am I missing any backup from yesterday, right? Am I at any potential risk, right? If I were to hit with a attack scenario, for example, today, right? So from there, we can actually build a dashboard. Multiple tiles can be built into the dashboard, and all these are customizable. So if you are, for example, you're an IT director or IT management role, when you come in, you want to see, am I able to meet my SLA? From an organization perspective, from a business service recovery perspective, and I have an RPO of, let's say, for example, 8 hours, right? I can only lose potentially 8 hours worth of data, right? How am I able to still meet that SLA reporting? When my CIO, my CTO, or even the CEO comes down, or for example, I need to submit a monthly review from an operations perspective from SLA, I'm able to quickly then pull out this information. And it's also very graphical, right? It can be in the form of a pie chart. It can be very color-coded down to departments, applications, users, etc. Right? So it becomes very visual and very enriching as well when you use the IT Analytics dashboard itself. Yeah. So maybe Gamma, if we can't get the demo portal up, maybe you can proceed on with the rest of the contents that you actually prepared.
For sure. Yeah. So guys, when it's loading, internet is a problem. So let me reshare again, and then let's continue with the discussion as well. Sure. And hopefully it comes back. Right.
You can just probably share from where we left off just now, presentation there.
Yep. All right. So hopefully the site loads up while we're talking. All right. So we would like to also share, after this session, we will also be sharing a write-up for NetBackup Analytics. So this was done by Enterprise Strategy Group. So there are two white papers that they were able to furnish. It's a technical validation in terms of optimizing business resilience using in-depth IT analytics. And for the economic validation, harnessing the economic benefits of various NetBackup Analytics. So I took a snippet from there, and then you can see a short highlight of what they were able to see when they were testing out after and then asking customers who were running NetBackup IT Analytics. So first, they were able to see 28% reduction in consumed IT resources, 5% reduction in compute resources, and I would say 90% reduction in IT management software costs. So they were able to remove a lot of customers were able to remove other tools in terms of managing their different environments, and they consolidated into AppTar. Okay, and 24% reduction in consumed storage resources. Okay, so we will be sending this after the session. Hopefully, it will be a great read. And for the packaging, okay, so I think this is one of the interesting points, all right? So for any NetBackup customers, once you move towards the NetBackup IT, NetBackup 10 subscription, NetBackup IT Analytics Foundation is part of NetBackup. You don't, it's already part of NetBackup. You don't need to purchase it separately. The foundation is not, you cannot buy the foundation separately, okay? So for customers who don't have NetBackup, you can go directly to Protection Suite. And there you will also get other benefits as well beyond the Analytics Foundation. All right, so the primary difference from Protection Suite and the IT Analytics Foundation is that it's able to pull from other data protection vendors, right? And then of course the advanced NetBackup Analytics, which is anomaly detection and artificial intelligence operations, right? And then on this next portion is Storage Management Suite. If you want to enroll your storage subsystems, for example, if you have different storage vendors, you can now enroll them and include them part of your reporting and analytics platform, okay? And lastly, the complete one, where we get Protection Suite and Storage Management Suite in one package as well, right? So just to let you guys know, okay, one of the requirements of AppTar is an Oracle database, right? So with Analytics Foundation, you would need an Oracle database for AppTar to be able to operate. So it's a two-socket, it's a two-prop license because AppTar requires that. But if you purchase the Protection Suite or upgrade and augment NetBackup IT Analytics, you will get the Oracle license is bundled already. So if you purchase it from the Protection Suite perspective or upgrade, there is no need to secure an Oracle license separately, right? So that is applicable to the Protection Suite, Storage Management Suite, and the complete version as well.
Yeah. So maybe we will take a last polling question over at this point.
Yes.
As per what Gamma described. We just want to understand from a lot of our customers, is this something that that could be a potential thing that we need to solve for you, right? For example, because we understand that we need, that's what Gamma described, the Oracle database is a requirement, right? This, in a lot of large organizations, Oracle databases definitely is there, right? So we just want to know, is it something that we can actually leverage on to actually run the Oracle database requirement of your existing Oracle database servers, or something that you can't, right? So, or if you're probably even not sure, you can indicate that as well, right? So we definitely want appreciate this feedback, right? So that we can also then help with our customers in terms of how do we actually can help to bundle some of these different offerings that we have in the NetBackup IT Analytics packaging as well, right? So appreciate everybody's help into the polling question. Yeah. But once again, apologize that we can't actually showcase the demo today, right? But if there's any,
I'll do a last check, Daniel. Last check.
Okay, sure. But if there's anybody that's really interested to see the demo, we definitely can schedule a separate session. Even that reach out directly to us. I think at the end of the session today, we'll be sending out the information that we have presented there as well, which will include an email that you can actually reach out directly to us. If you do know your Veritas account team that's already been helping you with a lot of information and a lot of projects, you can also reach out directly to them. And we can also schedule a one-to-one demo for you as well. Okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we are able to get the demo site web back up directly, right? I think probably could be due to internet connectivity, etc. But let's look at the polling results. Okay, we have quite a high percentage, right? I think most of us has Oracle databases in their environment, right? So, and we have 29% that actually, a third of our audience actually saying, hey, I don't have any Oracle databases in my organization as well. So for customers that do not have any Oracle database running in your environment, right, recommendation will be to purchase the protection suite, because that will actually come with the Oracle licenses bundle as well, right? That will bring additional features and use cases in the area of anomaly detection, right? So we actually can present that risk view from an anomaly detection perspective to help mitigate some of the risk against ransomware that we can as well. But of course, you're also free to purchase the Oracle licenses on your own, and with no additional cost, you can use the NetBackup IT Analytics Foundation. And the Foundation edition again will still do all the majority of the reporting that you will require from a day-to-day basis, right? From a backup reporting perspective, from alerting to creating dashboards that are specific from a backup reporting perspective, right? You're still able to have an analytical view of the backup jobs, tasks that you have in your environment as well, right? So maybe let me go back to the questions, whether there's any questions that we can highlight out for discussion with the audience here today. Let me bring up the Q&A window. We do see a lot of questions around comparison as well, right? I think some of our long-term NetBackup users, of course, in these recent few years, we do see a lot of new startups that has been coming out with some very competitive solutions as well. But however, I want to also emphasize what we have from Veritas NetBackup essentially is still a more enterprise solutions, right? Essentially, it's able to cover end-to-end, right? And that's what Gama shared in the beginning. NetBackup IT Analytics is able to cover from on-premise to a cloud, to a private cloud, or even to multi-cloud environment as well. Right? The same solution can then be adopted and used across different platforms that you have. In a way, at the end of the day, what you want to have is when you have multiple platforms, you want to have a single tool, a single capability to gather all the information that you need, so that you can actually form a true analytical view. If you were to have different tools, one tool from, let's say, to fit a VMware environment, or another tool to fit a Microsoft-based kind of a solution, another tool for the cloud environment, it becomes very challenging for customers to actually piece information together. So that's where we view NetBackup IT Analytics having the capability to form all the information in a very collective view, allowing our customers to achieve that outcome as well. Then, of course, some of the questions I do see is beyond IT and analytics, right? It's an area of probably from a more generic data protection as well, right? So I think in the last few webinars, or even globally, we have actually released a lot of information on our future, where we are bringing NetBackup towards as well, right? And NetBackup right now today is already on NetBackup version 10. 10.1 is going to come out soon as well. But what we are bringing NetBackup or the data management protection space to the next leap essentially is to transform this space that we are already a leader in as well. In the next phase where we are bringing NetBackup towards is we're going to enhance NetBackup to be more autonomous, right? So what do we mean by autonomous? Right? You want to essentially allow things to happen by itself, right? For example, things like backup, right? Essentially, at the end of the day, what you need to do is to define your SLA, right? For example, if it's a critical workload that's been defined, right, I want to essentially allow the backup infrastructure to automatically understand that if this is defined as a critical workload, hey, automatically help me back up on-premise, store into an immutable copy, maybe send a third copy offsite. Right? Allow all this analytical information to be harvested and be used intelligently within the backup infrastructure. We will then want to allow autonomy to happen as well, allow such operations to happen by its own as well. So that's where NetBackup IT Analytics will then come in, which is a very important tool component within that as well, to give that visibility, the metadata information, to be able to present out, to allow more intelligent decisions to be made as well. How do you scale efficiently? How do you scale in a more predictable manner? Definitely with trending information, historical information, we will be able to achieve some of these outcome and use cases for our customers as well. So just checking in. Gama, we still can't get the demo up.
All right. Here. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm still stuck.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah,
it's okay. I think we'll move the demo probably to do reach out if you require demonstration of the ITaas, the NetBackup IT Analytics. Definitely be happy to schedule one session with all of us out there. Yeah. So before we close off, maybe Gama, any closing remarks, anything you want to remind our audience today of on what we have shared today?
Yeah. So guys, again, I'm sorry, internet issues, but with NetBackup IT Analytics, for me, from the many years I've been engaging, I would really suggest that you try it out because from just testing it out, there's a lot of things that you will be able to, I would say, like realizations that I can do further, because NetBackup IT Analytics comes with a lot of CAN reports, and there's also a sort of consortium wherein our customers uploaded reports they customize as well. So if you combine all of the resources, the customers uploaded reports, plus the CAN reports, then there's a lot of things that you can do even with your existing reports. Okay, you might, okay, I think I can improve the report where I can consolidate at least 4 reports into one, right? So my suggestion is try it out, see the demo or have a POC. You know, for existing NetBackup customers, you have ITaas already on the subscription. Take advantage of it, and there's a lot of things that you can do beyond of the use cases we've been sharing. Because again, I didn't focus on this earlier. The reports, the dashboards are customizing. It's very customized, right? You can fully customize it to your liking. You can create additional columns here and there, relate to dashboards to each other. There's a lot of things you can do, really. So that I would like to emphasize that, and that's it for me, Daniel.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for reminding us of that. So that's what Gama mentioned. You know, there's a report library that is also publicly available. Right. Basically, this report library are some of the useful operation report, from reporting to management to operations. They are created by end users like yourself. Of course, out of the box, the NetBackup IT Analytics already have some CAN reports that is available. There's a more common one. But from the IT Analytics community, we do have a report library that is publicly accessible by all users. Go inside there, all the templates are available. So it makes it very easy. I can actually know, oh, maybe somebody has thought of that use case that is relevant to my organization that I want to use as well. Right? So it's free of charge. You can actually download all the templates. From there, you can actually make use of all this to derive at any use cases that you need as well. So this also helps to shorten the time to develop a template or a dashboard, for example. Right? So actually, you can leave it to some of the more experienced users to help you create some of these templates, and then you can just use it easily. Right? So it's a very easy tool to use, web-based. It's a public report library that is a community-based kind of a repository that you can use. And also it's bundled together with NetBackup if you are just wanting the basic reporting capabilities in terms of the backup analytics, right? That's available as part of a NetBackup Foundation as well, right? So before we close off today's session, just want to remind again, if you're already not on NetBackup 10, right, I will encourage you to look at your existing NetBackup environment, right? NetBackup 10 has a lot of new enhancements, especially in the area of security, right? Of course, and if you're not using Web UI, do definitely go in and use it, right? From 8.2 onwards, we already have that Web UI available. And as of the latest version, I would say most of the tasks or policy configuration, that's available in the Java UI is already available in the Web UI. Right, so I encourage you to go inside there and use it if it's already available. If you're on the older versions, definitely do upgrade, to the newer versions as well. So if you need any help in terms of the upgrade, any pre-upgrade assessment or checks, do reach out to us. We have a team that's ready to assist you to look at some of the pre-upgrade requirements to guide you along with that to prepare the environment for upgrade as well, right? So appreciate everybody's time for today. Again, we will look at the best question for the day, then we'll reach out to you to send you the $25 Amazon gift card along the way as well, right? So do look out for the next edition of the Tech Drop-In, right, whereby we'll be definitely be discussing on more of the trending stuff that we are seeing in the market, whether is it cloud, multi-cloud capabilities, with resiliency across multiple environments. Definitely we have lined out a whole series of different topics that I'm sure all of us will appreciate for the rest of the year as well, right? So appreciate everybody's time and also for all the questions that's coming in as well. For those questions that we haven't managed to answer on time, we'll definitely be reaching out to you to reply back to some of the questions that you have sent forth again as well. So once again, thank you everybody for your time today, and we hope to see you again in the next edition of our Tech Drop-In as well. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.